Welcome everyone. Today we'll have a very special Genshin Impact News Digest. In this video, we'll have a look at the latest official post about the update notice with Raiden Shogun and also her shield changes. So in this particular notice, we saw the 100 Primal Gems compensation. And in our video, we'll go through all the summaries of the hotfix and also the possible nerfs and also buffs explained over here. So there are a number of official posts that was revealed after the patch of 2.1. And in that, there's some detailed character explanation with her interactions. And this is quite important. So we'll talk about this in more details. We'll also go through the whole scenario of the summaries with Raiden Shogun on how is she affected with Bidu and also different characters. We'll have a look at the sales of Raiden Shogun with the Chinese sales, which is actually skyrocketing. It is the highest sales banner. And of course, we'll have a look at some of the comparisons with Raiden Shogun and also Zhongli. So in this video, we'll have a look at the summaries of the patch notes, which explains the difference with Raiden Shogun with 3 different scenarios, and why this is making her a little weaker than what we expected. So some of the special effects does not work, while some of the effects does work with Raiden Shogun. And this means some of the creative builds we initially thought of may be a little weaker. We also have a look at the potential of her being 90 energy, which is the highest energy. And also this whole scenario with Raiden Shogun is very similar to the Zhongli incident. If you guys remember, there was a massive complaint about Zhongli getting buffed, and after a pretty lengthy time with the players and also the company, the character Zhongli and also the Geo characters were also buffed. So at the final part of this video, we'll have a look at some of the purely speculations, guys, of the possible buffs to Raiden Shogun and also to the Electro characters, including reducing her energy, longer duration with her burst ultimate, and also making the Electro resonance a little stronger, because they're a little weaker to be honest. There's a lot of similarities with Raiden Shogun and also Zhongli. So with Zhongli, we had 100 Primal Gems compensation with his Constellation bugs. After that, there was a lot of sales with Zhongli, and then players wasn't too happy about him. So this may be a similar case with Raiden Shogun. We'll have a look at the possibility of Raiden Shogun getting buffed before her next rerun, which is likely going to come in about 2 to 3 patches time. And this is very similar to Zhongli, because that special moves by miHoYo, which buffing Zhongli and also Geo characters before his rerun worked wonderfully. So we'll have a look at this as well. So we do have some really solid evidence of the similar styles of Archon, and this may be happening with Raiden Shogun. So let's have a look at this one at the end of the video. Now coming over to some of the latest official patch notes from miHoYo about the game and also known issues. So as you guys have noticed, we have received 100 Primal Gems as compensation. And this is very rare. Keep in mind guys, we usually get 300 Primal Gems. The reason we got the 100 Primal Gems hotfix is there's actually some major difference between the description and also what the intended character is with Raiden Shogun. And similar to Zhongli, which he was the last character that got this hotfix, Raiden Shogun's Constitution 6 was not describing correctly. And this is the major reason which we'll go through. There's also another patch which I'm not sure if you guys have noticed. This is a patch notes right after version 2.1. And this was not kind of officially discussed too much, and I want to explain what's happening with you guys. So there's a bit of the fishing system, there's a bit of the increase of level caps, which we kind of expected, but the major explanation hidden over here is the character Raiden Shogun. Notice there's like a massive essay of how Raiden Shogun works, and also the explanation with Raiden Shogun. So this is quite important, and that's why we'll go through this on the first part of the video. So coming over to the 100 gems compensation, which have not happened since the Zhongli hotfix. So what is happening is the Raiden Shogun description with her Constitution 6 previously used to say when Raiden Shogun attacks with normal, charge or plunge attack, you will reduce the cooldown of all the characters except her by 1 second. And this can happen maximum 5 times. So minus 5 seconds for any of those types of normal attack or plunge or charge attack. Now what is said is the description was not correct. And this is considered as a Constellation bug, very similar to Zhongli. So not as major as Zhongli, because he wasn't getting a shield before. So his shield was something wrong with his shield, with his Constellation. But with Raiden Shogun, it now says the attacks by Raiden Shogun that is considered a part of her elemental burst. And I do believe this only works for her normal attack now, instead of the charge and also plunge attack. I cannot test this one at the moment because I do not have a Constitution 6 Raiden Shogun. So do let me know if you guys, or if you know a friend that have her with Constitution 6, maybe he or her can help us test if charge attack and also plunge attack still reduce cooldown by 1 second. I do believe this is a nerf that was kind of wrongfully described, and this is why we were given 100 Primal Gems for compensation. because this was misleading a lot of the the big spenders, a lot of the well players who spend a lot of money into the game, maybe $3,000, and they were hoping to have all of those attacks to minus cooldowns. But this was not the case. So the only attack that minus cooldown, it seems, is a normal attack, because he will be slashing enemies with a normal attack. Now I know what some of us may be thinking, hey, it's Constitution 6, it doesn't affect me that much, I'm just happy with the 100 Primal Gems. But there's a little more to that, my friends. So what is happening is, this is very closely related to the new patch notes after patch 2.1. And if you look at some of the comments, people are like, isn't that strange? You post all those explanations after the banner comes out, after the character comes out. So why don't you tell us a little earlier? So this explanation is very important to understand how Raiden Shogun works. And this may be a lead up to the potential buffs to the Electro characters and also to the Electro icon. So that's why I want to lead up to this next part. So this is the summary notes of what is said over here. I'll have this post available for you guys as well, the official post. It took me a while to understand. It's like they sure did not try to make this one like too complicated, but it seems to be a lot of writing. So over here I have made a summary. The first point we want to understand with Raiden Shogun is, after casting her burst ultimate spell, Raiden Shogun's normal attacks are considered as special attacks. They have a variety of special combinations and also special effects. The first thing we want to know is, this still is consisted of normal attack animations, and certain skills and also certain constellations that triggers with normal attack animation will be triggered during this phase. But this does not deal normal attack damage. So the first thing is, this can trigger the animations of normal attack, and certain effects like the Skyward Spine, the 5-star polearm that increase attack speed will be triggered. Similar to Xingqiu's, his Q or his burst ultimate spell, and also Vessel's Constitution 6 will be triggered. And those were the example used in the particular notes. But there's a big but, guys. So let me get to that. But this is also considered as the elemental burst spell damage. So the animation is normal attack, the damage is elemental burst spell damage, and those are the two specialties of her attack. So this will mean that she can enjoy special effects, including artifacts that gives bonus elemental burst damage, and also her elemental spell, her E spell, will also give her bonus damage after casting it, because her damage is considered as elemental burst damage, and this is actually very important to be explained. It was hidden somewhere over here, there's a lot of writing, I know. Now coming over to the more important part, so what is the catch over here? And what is hidden in those patch notes is that this does not work on normal attack, charge attack, and also plunge attack damage. Notice animation is normal attack, but the damage is burst damage. So this is actually a considerable nerf to most of the players who are actually preparing to try her. Because previously, most of us thought the damage tab is a multiplier which receives double bonus. You will receive the normal attack damage and also the burst spell damage, which will be a multiple bonus and very powerful. But it seems that it only deals the burst damage. It does not deal normal attack damage. So now it is purely just a burst spell damage during those 5 or 6 seconds of the buff. And during the patch notes, there were some very hidden explanations over here, which they talk about, this is why, guys, this is why the 5-star polearm for Raiden Shogun, the special vacuum effect and also the special damage is not triggered. This is such a facepalm moment, right? So this is what I would say is a hidden nerf to Raiden Shogun, because come on, the Skyward Spine is a really good 5-star polearm for her, attack speed and also special effects, but it does not trigger the special effect, because Raiden Shogun cannot deal normal attack damage. This weapon needs normal attack damage to be dealt for this part of the special effect. Its attack speed still works, but not the vacuum effect, which, what they're trying to do, they're like pushing towards a new weapon, like don't go use your old 5-star weapons, come and buy the new weapons, and come and spend your Primal Gems. So I'm not sure what I think about this. So because it does not enjoy the normal attack damage multiplier and also the effects, items or characters and also artifacts that deals bonus normal attack damage will be affected. So the effect from the 5-star weapon, the polearm, does not work over here. And similarly, the Bloodstain set with charge attack and also the Gladiator set with normal attack bonus does not work, because it deals with bonus attack on the normal attack. But what we want is, we want the bonus attack on the elemental burst spells. So notice that this whole explanation over here that was hidden was actually making Raiden Shogun much weaker than what players expected. And this is what I say, this is a hidden nerf to Raiden Shogun that was not initially revealed, not in the live stream, not anywhere. And I guess to cover things up a little bit, it was hidden out, so like, they're like, oh, we give you 100 Primal Gems, look, things are getting fixed. But in reality, there's something we need to understand, is that this whole thing is making the creative builds for Raiden Shogun much more inefficient. Because, this is actually upsetting a lot of players. Previously, if we come over to this post, so this post is talking about the Raiden Shogun and also Bidu. And if we look at the comments over here, we can see players were preparing for weeks for Bidu and also Raiden Shogun. Because Bidu will have spells that increase normal attack damage, but normal attack damage is not considered for Raiden Shogun. So the theoretical combos like Raiden Shogun and also Bidu is ruined. So no one can try that because it no longer works with normal attack bonus damage. And also different characters that works with the attack damage of normal attack, charge attack, and also the plunge attack is no longer working. So this is why I think some of the players, and maybe a lot of players who planned a lot of deeper for Raiden Shogun and saved a lot of Primal Gems, may be a little upset. So this is the first case why we might get a potential buff for Raiden Shogun and also future characters. Is that this whole scenario is very similar to Zhongli. Previously, they was like, oh, Zhongli is so cool, he's so good. And then the community realized they spent a lot of their Primal Gems on him, and then there was like bug fix, there was like, possible hidden nerfs to Zhongli. And then this is when community start to get a little annoyed. And there's a little more, guys. So I'm sure some of you have noticed. Raiden Shogun is the first character with energy level for burst spells to be 90. The higher the energy is, the longer the character has to wait to cast her burst spell. And this is not a good thing. The higher it is, the worse the character gets. You want as low as 20, 40 or 60. So it used to be 80 was the highest energy for all the characters. And I think most of us were expecting Raiden Shogun to have the max energy of 80, which used to be the highest limit cap. And this is actually pretty high already. But now this Raiden Shogun is the newest character to have the highest ever energy cap. And this is quite a sizable nerf, because compared to characters with anti-energy, she needs 90 energy to cast her burst spell. And this is not expected by us, and when I was trying the character out, I can notice that she was getting energy a little slower. Although she have a really high energy gain, but her energy gap required is not 80, it is 90. So it takes more energy for her to cast her burst spell. And I don't think a lot of players were aware of this. This might delay her casting of her burst spell by a few seconds, or maybe at least 1 to 2 seconds. So again, this is a hidden nerf that was not expected by us, because I did not look into her stats previously. I want to keep myself away from the leaks and also future information. And upon her release and upon getting her, I can notice that she was getting her energy a little slower compared to other characters. And this is a major factor. Now, if you haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so. Make sure you also turn the bell on for the latest news as I find more of them for us. You can see that we're really dedicated for Genshin Impact. We'll have builds, guides, tips, news, and events updates for everything that's Genshin Impact related. So now if we come over to this post by FIGJAM17 over here, so this is a post basically shows the sales and also the revenue income for iOS. And we can see previously the highest sales for Genshin Impact was with the Klee banner. And there was a lot of sales. But as you can see over here, on the second date of the sales, we can see that Raiden Shogun has surpassed all other characters, including the Venti Ray run, including Klee, including all the popular characters, and much higher than Zhongli. So what does this mean? A lot of players have spent a lot of their hard-earned Primal Gems and a lot of money from their own pockets. And if you remember the Zhongli incident, players spent a lot of money on Zhongli. And because Zhongli was not as strong as expected, similar to Raiden now, so the higher popularity of the character might backfire into something interesting or something not as happy for Miho Yu. So we can see that from the entire history of the Genshin Impact banner sales, this is actually the highest sales for the banners, which is actually really good news for Miho Yu. They're making so much money on this particular banner, as expected. But guys, if you remember the whole Zhongli incident, players, after spending a lot of their money, might get a little upset because there seems to be hidden nerfs to Raiden Shogun, which we explained in the early part of this video. And what I'm concerned on what may be happening from the past histories of the game is that this might start a Zhongli buff complaint. This might become a Raiden Shogun buff complaint. So this might lead to multiple buffs similar to Zhongli. So if you guys remember, previously there were actually multiple buffs to Zhongli. I also have the official patch notes over here. You can see the first buff to Zhongli, the further adjustment to Zhongli. You can see those official addressed for Zhongli. So very similar to Zhongli, Raiden Shogun is at a state that if there may be a lot of complaints from the community, we may be seeing a lot of buffs to her and also the Electro characters. So in the Zhongli, his burst spells were buffed, and also his elemental shield were strongly buffed with lower resistance. And this also buffed the Geo characters with stronger resonance. Zhongli also got 100 Primogems compensation. So notice there's a very similar pattern. So this is still a purely speculation, but knowing Zhongli is also an Archon, he's very popular, he got a lot of sales, and then the community started to get a little angry. So then this really got me thinking. This may be the chance for us to get an Electro character buff, because compared to the other three elements, which is Pyro, Hydro, and also Electro, and also Cryo, Electro is one of them. So compared to the other three elements, they can conduct melt and also vaporize, which gives 1.5 to 2 times more damage. Electro characters does not have this special ability. And so we might be expecting a potential buff for the Electro elements in total. And this may be, this might not happen on the first banner for Raiden Shogun, because Zhongli did not get a buff on his banner. He got a buff on his rerun. So this is what I say that miHoYo is very good with marketing. Usually the buff comes after the community complains and think the characters are a lot weaker. And then after a patch or two, notice that Zhongli was announced to getting a buff. And then this amazingly boosted the sales of the Zhongli rerun. Isn't that a kind of history relating to itself? So this might be boosting the sales of the Raiden Shogun rerun, right? So I think I'm onto something, but I'm not sure. And even before today, I was going to make a video about the 100 gems compensation because I knew that was coming. I can see there's definitely some questionable things with Raiden Shogun. There's too much to hide. So notice that on the next day, this announcement came, and this came while I was sleeping. And I saw this, I was like, this is why. So notice that they were trying to quickly give us some Primo gems. Hopefully we don't notice the rest of it. And I don't think this is a bad thing, to be honest, for us as players, because we have had a say with Raiden Shogun. And this also means that, we can, and what I mean by this, we had a say with Zhongli last time, and it seems that the company was able to look into the player's perspective and also to buff the characters multiple times. And now coming over to some of my personal speculations. So this is purely speculations, guys. I have no idea what the plans of the developer is. I do think there may be a possible patch 2.2, maybe not 2.2, too early, maybe 2.3 or 2.4, with Raiden Shogun coming with a buff. So there may be potential ways to buff her. The first thing is, her energy is pretty high. It has to be 80, right? So the easiest thing to make her a little stronger is to change her 90 energy to 80 energy. And I think this will make things much more adjustable, more burst spells and more, special effects with her burst spell, which we love when she pull out the sword, right? So the second potential buff is that I do feel that her burst spell sword duration is a little low. I believe it's about 6 seconds. So if we can increase the seconds by another 1 to 2 seconds, and this can be a slight buff to make her feel a little better. Because a majority of the damage multipliers and everything seems to be a little too much, little too hidden. And we want to have the burst spell a little stronger. It's not as straightforward as the meteorite from Zhongli. So maybe the developers can look into making her burst spells a little stronger. So maybe 1 to 2 seconds longer. And finally, I'm sure you guys are aware of this, and we've spoke about this before. Currently, electro resonance and also electro reactions are not the strongest. This was first, in a state of patch 1.0. We're already at patch 2.0, and the geo resonance have received the buff. The reasons that the Pyro and also Cryos are very good. Hydros are not great, but Hydro works with Vaporize. So the only resonance that is left with electro resonance is getting more particles, and also, the whole electric effect is not great. So maybe we can have a new resonance for the Raiden Shogun buff, and this will help the whole electric party. Characters like Raider, Bidu, Fessel, characters like Sarah, and also characters like Kachin can also benefit. So this may be a possibility. There may be a small possibility we may get a rework with electro reactions, because they don't have the biggest multipliers. They work okay, but they're not as strong as the other three. The Hydro and also Pyro with Vaporize, or the Pyro and also Cryo with Melt. Pyro is the best element in the game because it works with both synergies with other two elements. So let me know what you guys think. Those are definitely my personal speculations, but I want to give you guys the facts and also summaries of the 2 major official patch notes and also the implications of this character, Raiden Shogun, which gave us 3 primal gems, and also how it will affect the future electric characters. And also we had a look at the sales of the banner, and also potential rerun for Raiden Shogun. So I'm sure Raiden Shogun will get a rerun. This is 100%, because Venti and also Zhongli already got a rerun. So by the time we get a Raiden Shogun rerun, we might get some special buffs for her and also the Electro characters. And let me know what you guys think about this prediction. Now before we finish the video, you might have noticed I have not been making a lot of videos because I have taken my first dose of the vaccination for COVID and I'm still waiting for my body to react, and also I'm really tired at the moment. So this is why I'm not making as many videos and also getting my voice to heal. So hopefully my body recovers and I can make more videos first. And thank you again so much for tuning on the Raiden Shogun summoning stream, and hopefully once my body gets better, my health gets better, I can make more videos first. Thank you so much for supporting me on Twitch guys and supporting me on YouTube. I'll see you guys next time on YouTube. Now if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe and also turn the little bell on for the latest news. I'll be looking towards to make more builds, guides, tips and news and event updates for us as we come further into the game. And as always, I wish you guys the best of luck with Genshin and have the most fun in exploring this wonderful world.